you about somebody who could have a responsibility professionally for securing items or some person. We have the security guard card and the musician card. So we've got someone who has some level of fame or some level of success. Either they have assets that they really need to make sure that they're protecting, or this is somebody who is trying to make sure that the creative person themselves is protected. But I feel like we have a plan to circumvent this security or this layer of protection. So this could be a little bit of a warning message. Let's call in spirit with a little bit of wind chime time. And I hope you're having a good day so far. Hello, Key Controller. How you doing? If you're interested in a personal reading, I would love to do one for you. My email address is wickedwandstarot@gmail.com. It's in the description box, as is more information on how to become a member. Thank you to the current members. I think we will start with... since we're talking about being concerned over protecting something valuable, I feel like Star Trek is a good choice. Can't help but to think about the fact that they, instead of pentacles, they have latinum. So I do feel like there's this concern over who's got access and are there people that can be trusted that are actually protecting this person or their assets. Hello, Cosmic. How are you doing? Hello, Tandy. Hello, Enfrance. How are we doing? Hello, Jessica. We've got... So I was mentioning the Latinum. Here's the Queen of Latinum. That would be like the Queen of Pentacles, right? The World and the Hierophant. Okay, so this is interesting. This feels to me like we've got somebody who, I mean, it could be as simple as like this is the bank manager, or it could be as simple as you need to make sure that you're careful with who has passwords to your things. But there's a need to make sure that we have someone who knows the rules or follows the rules regarding someone's estate. It could even be about like a person who's passed away and making sure that the will is followed to the T. What else do we have? We have the Queen of Starships, which would be like the Queen of Cups. The Page of Latinum or Page of Pentacles, and the Knight of Cloaks in the reverse, which is like the Knight of Wands in the reverse. Okay, so this is feeling to me like we've got someone who, again, the musician card, there's someone here who's very creative, someone who could be famous or have some level of recognition. And I feel like this is more so like the start or like intro level of somebody getting famous, right? So we could have someone who in the last year or two has seen some sort of success or growth. But with this Knight of Wands in the reverse, it kind of feels to me like there are gaps in making sure that things are safe or that this person is safe because of the speed at which things have changed for this person's life, or like the fact that now they're maybe considered like an overnight success, right? Hello, April. How are you doing? We are only 3 minutes and 46 seconds in. Hello. How's it going, Ruben? So we've got the Ten of Latinum. See, somebody's been like stacking it, you know? Like we've got some need to make sure that it's not hiding everything under the mattress, right? So maybe someone's speaking with a financial advisor, or, you know, making sure they have maybe a lawyer in place. But with the Ten of Pentacles and the Six of Swords in the reverse, this is looking to me like we have somebody who is not considering all of the different things that they need to make sure are protected or secured. There's a password that needs to be changed, or a key that, you know, should be, or a lock that should be redone. Something here is not protected. So we have the Ten of Wands or Ten of Cloaks in the reverse and the Magician in the reverse. Okay. So part of the problem is there's so many requests or like business orders or tour dates or whatever this is. And it means that we have somebody who is like basically not able to do all of the things that they were previously balancing. If you suddenly have a business take off and it takes more of your time, you might find at some point, okay, now maybe it makes sense for me to pay someone to mow the lawn. Now maybe it makes sense for me to pay someone to, you know, clean the place a little bit. This is someone who's got too much going on and it is causing some problems. Now, this could apply to both the individuals, right? Because we've got somebody who's responsible for security and we've got somebody who like made the money, right? Hello, Zach. What's going on? Hello, Bradley. How's your day? We have the Three of Batlets or Three of Swords in the reverse. The Ace of Latinum or Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. And the Seven of Cups in the reverse. I feel like this has put a target on someone's back. It's kind of like if you have someone announce on like the nightly news for that state that they won the lottery and they're going to do X, Y, and Z with all the money and blah, blah, blah. You're going to get hit up by a bunch of people who want to borrow money, right? It's kind of like a rookie mistake. Because generally speaking, if you're winning the lottery, you're probably new to the concept of having a whole bunch of it, right? This is someone who is new to the concept of having a whole bunch of it. Like, I don't know, where do I even put the money? Stack it over there. I'm thinking of that scene in the movie Blow where Johnny Depp's character is just like rolling in dough and they have to stack it like to the ceiling. This is... I mean, you probably don't have like, you know, an entire bedroom that needs to have cash stacked to the ceiling. If you do, like, well done. But this is saying someone is not accommodating for the fact that things are changing. Whether that's, you know, there's safer places to invest your money or to secure your money or, you know, just like don't keep it under the mattress anymore. There's something that needs to change because there's a person who is looking at this musician and thinking to themselves, oh, goody, you don't know what you're doing. It could even be about somebody who is really talented, but also quite young. So there could be some corporate folks who feel like they can get this individual caught up in a contract that's really disadvantageous for them financially, but works out nicely for the people who are setting up the contract. So we have the Lovers and the Sun. Well, sorry guys, you might be able to hear my dryer going. There is definitely an important choice that I feel like somebody made, maybe not necessarily in the right way, or they were too public about their decision, right? If you say, oh my gosh, I'm super excited about this new gate that I installed at the, you know, front of my property where the driveway is, you know, it's even got this like hidden opening button like right here. You don't want to tell people where you hid the key, right? There's something here that's too public. It could even be a phone number, but there's a risk or a need to address this risk, or there's going to be some sort of financial loss. All right, this is the situations deck. Hey Jess, how are you doing? I love it. Hello SSPD, how you doing? All right, so we've got denial, projected, and realization. So someone's not really facing the responsibility of making a lot of money overnight or seeing a lot of success, maybe even being, you know, super recognizable. This is someone who's learning some of these lessons kind of haphazardly or as they go along. So I feel like this would be like if this is a musician, actually, this is somebody who probably doesn't have the best of management or doesn't really know the ropes. And there are people that take advantage of that, right? Or this is just simply somebody whose creativity has enabled them to make more money than they really thought they were going to be able to. And they have to be honest with themselves about whether or not people are willing to use their connection to this musician or very talented person in order to benefit themselves. So we could have somebody who's getting a lot of requests to loan money to somebody or to multiple people, or people who feel like if you get into some cool club, then you should take me along. I want to meet all the other cool people in that club, that kind of thing. Karmic, third party, relationship lesson, Archangel Michael, protection. Bounty hunter, chaser, hot pursuit. Yeah. See, there's someone who cannot be trusted who has access. Whether that means they're invited to a party so they are, you know, a little bit closer, or they actually have some sort of password or passcode or key. This is problematic because this is somebody who's not actually trustworthy. So I feel like this is happening at the outside of somebody's success to kind of make sure that they learn that lesson before things get to be like a higher bet level. Cleansing and legal with single. This seems to be somebody who doesn't have very good representation or doesn't have the right legal representation. Someone who would be able to say, hey, this is liability or this is a risk that you're taking. We should probably change this or update that. Maybe hire this person, right? There's a need for some guidance here. All right, let's see what we've got with the Tarot of the Cat people. Hello, Aspiring Excellence. Hello, Star. How are we doing? Oh, Michelle, how are you doing? I hope things improve for you. Hello, Stephanie. How's it going? Thank you for the tip. Let me write that down for you real quick. Uh-oh. Excuse me. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that wasn't snot. Don't worry, you guys. What are FN's true feelings? True feelings and intention towards me. Awesome. I've got that added. Thank you, Stephanie. Let's make sure we shuffle these. Thank you for the bless yous. April, you're funny. What else do we have? Five of Wands, Ace of Pentacles in the reverse, Knight of Wands. More of that Knight of Wands energy. This time, though, in the upright. I think before it was in the reverse. And another Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like there's somebody here who decides that person doesn't know what they're doing, so I'm going to target them, or I'm going to find a way to get access to their bank account or to their home or something unfair. So maybe they have plans of, you know, just taking pictures of someone who's famous and trying to sell those, you know? Oh, here's this person sunbathing. Make some quick money off of that. They do the unexpected and take advantage of the access that they have acquired, whether that's because they have some sort of business contract or they've been trusted as a friend. We have someone who is betraying that, at least the spirit of it. And with the Tower, there is an argument or a problem that arises pretty quickly where someone realizes, I can't let that person have access anymore, or I really need to start vetting people a little bit more thoroughly before I allow them in. Hello, Mark. How are you doing? Hello, Nicole. I'm not sure what we're doing there. If that's not English, do you mind translating to English for me? We've got Page of Swords and the Ace of Cups. Okay. This is given like I'm stalking you because I feel like I can leverage friendship to get close to you and get the information that I could sell or that I need. Or I'm going to communicate in such a way that makes it seem like I'm interested in you romantically, but actually I have ulterior motives. There's something here about like taking advantage of access. I am going to be able to make money off of this, or I get like a whole bunch of like points on the internet, whatever it might be. What else do we have? Three of Swords, Magician in the reverse, again, and in the same spot, actually. The High Priestess in the reverse, and the Ace of Wands. I don't like this at all. Okay. Betrayal. This is like saying I'm going to apply to be your bodyguard, and then as soon as you decide that you can trust me with your safety, I'm gonna like abandon my post and go get like a burger instead. Like, you're on your own, but hey, thanks for the paycheck. It could even be worse than that, right? Because this seems to say that there's actually intentions of, once I get this access, once I've earned this trust from you, then I'm going to go do something a step further and get some information, or maybe even some, you know, like a video, or here's a picture of this person's tennis shoes, something weird and creepy like that. Yes, thank you for liking and subscribing. I appreciate it. Hello, Danny. How are you doing? Jess, if I knew, I'd write a book. King of Wands, Ace of Swords, and the Empress. All right. So we have someone who feels like you have all the creativity, you have all of the forward movement. This is somebody who's jealous. This is someone who's like, okay, yeah, like, congratulations, things went really well for you. I guess they went better for you than they went for me, but I can still find a way to win, you know? Let's pretend for a second that this is a romantic interest. Probably still applies even if it's like a sibling, right? You hire them, or, you know, you let them guard something, or, you know, they're the one who knows what your new album is going to be called. Whatever it is, this person fumbles that hard because they don't really care. What they want is like some measure of that fame for themselves, or they want to be able to make a ridiculous boatload of money. There's this, I'm looking at you and what you have. You got this like big old nice coat and everything. You don't deserve all that. You don't need all that. So what can I do to gain access and like steal that expensive jewelry, or I don't know, steal the gift cards or the cash, you know? Can't be trusted. This is the Egyptian tarot. It would be such a long book. It's true. Hello, Michelle. What's up? Hello, Paul. It depends on whether or not we plan on being respectful. Just know that I have a couple of really awesome moderators out there. Hello, James. How are you doing? Oh, no. Thank you, Zach. I feel like I got some pretty awesome mods, to be honest, but let me know if you would like me to pull a few cards for you. Hello, Kara. How are you doing? What are we adding to the equation here? 10 of Pentacles again. 8 of Cups in the reverse and another Knight of Wands. I think this is somebody who gains access when they're not supposed to. Like somebody who has, you know, recently been hired. Maybe they're a key holder if it's like a retail situation, but they have access and they go when they're not supposed to be there. Either they stay late and they're waiting for people to leave so that they can take what they want, or they're like coming back around at night after everybody's left to take what they want. This is somebody who is not doing right by what they've agreed to do or by the person that has hired them. They're thinking about what they could get out of the situation and not really focused on, you know, long-term consequences such as, ooh, you actually broke the law, so now you have a fine to pay or, you know, straight to jail. I don't think this is somebody who's really considering the possible consequences. They're too focused on, if I can do this and then I can do that, then I will have everything that I want. That's all they're thinking about. Yes, and potato is potato, right? We've got the 7 of Wands. 7 of Pentacles in the reverse and Justice. Yeah, looking for the right moment to take something that isn't theirs or to share a secret that is not theirs to share. But their goal is, if I do this thing, then, you know, I'll have some notoriety or some fame, or I'll make some money off of this, or people will be jealous of me the way that I'm jealous of that person over there. But with Justice, this is like, you didn't say the magic word, and you're going to go straight to jail. Yeah, I don't think it's going to go very well. That movie is called The Professional, and it is one of my favorites. Everyone! I think they actually, I think I heard, what is it, Luc Besson directed Gary Oldman to kind of say it calmly, and that maybe that was even a little bit of like an exaggerated joke when he did that, but man, talk about like one of the most memorable scenes in a movie in that era. Yes, he's the best. If you all need a little giggle, check out the clip with Stephen Colbert and Gary Oldman, where Stephen Colbert is asking Gary Oldman how his movies might have changed with one simple little adjustment that Colbert made. I hope that's enough for you to find out what I'm referencing, but it's hilarious. And Gary Oldman legitimately like starts cry laughing. All right, so we've got the Ace of Wands, the 3 of Swords, and the 9 of Pentacles in the reverse. Someone who's codependent, who has not been able to make their own way, is wishing that they were more creative or wishing that they could make it big in a particular industry or field. And that's why they work closely to this musician. So they have this access, or they have this, you know, like idea that if I can get close to somebody who does do what I want to do, then I can get what I want, or I can find something that will make me famous because, oh, I, you know, expose this person's scandal with their affair or something weird, you know? They're literally just looking at this as, how can I take advantage of being trusted in this situation? We've got the Tower and the Page of Swords in the reverse with the Knight of Swords. The thing is, there's some stubbornness here to like protect and trust this person. You know, I'm your boss. I hired you because you're my cousin and I want to help you out of some difficult times. But I would have never expected that you would try to steal something from me or try to, you know, like kind of like backstab me as far as a friend sharing my secrets, right? This is like regret over allowing somebody into your circle and not having a better ability to discern their true intentions. Let's see, we're gonna get the Kipper, just in case we see that imprisonment card come out. Yes, I agree. Thank you to you and your roomie. I appreciate it. What else do we have? Thief. Okay. Message of concern and adjudication. I rest my case. Hey, you know, like there's somebody here who was jealous of what you've got and they thought that they had enough access to be able to take it from you. But then there's something here that is traced to them that leads to some legal consequences. So they're not actually as clever as they think they are, or they end up finding out that the law doesn't really take kindly to that. Hello, Leland's mom. How are you doing? Has Isaac been truthful to me today? Awesome. I've added that. Thank you for the tip, Leland's mom. I appreciate it. And did I ever hear... Hello, Stoner Poo. What's up? Zach, did you want me to pull any cards for you? All right. And we're at 27 minutes about, just to let you all know. All right, what else do we have? This has legal consequences all over it. Remember, we had the Justice card, of course. That's kind of the beginning of it. But we also had the legal courts, paperwork, like consequences are definitely coming their way. I would even argue that this hot pursuit card can be indicative of, you know, the cops or law enforcement trying to find where you are. And then we have this adjudication card before imprisonment. So I feel like this is somebody who thinks they're real smooth, thinks they can make some money in a way that is not honest or legal. They take it from a family member or they take it from a boss. They pocket something that's valuable because they have access to somebody's house. But whatever they think is going to make things easier for them financially is actually going to end up being a burden because they get caught, and there are folks in the legal system who are like, hey, you know what? We don't really like that you did that. We think that's kind of lame. So they might have to, I would say, like, at the very least, is somebody's going to have to pay back what they take or fix whatever they did. No way. That's so weird. I was just talking about New Orleans yesterday, but I have never been. I would like to. So we have adjacent possibilities, and door to personal healing and happiness. This is saying, look, you know what? Things are just starting to pick up. Things are changing. Things are opening up as far as the opportunities. And this is because somebody has this gift or this skill and people appreciate it. So there's multiple revenue streams or multiple opportunities that this creative individual or musician has. But there's also, I think, a takeaway from the situation, which is I need to make sure that I have someone that is managing my financial accounts. I need to have somebody who is a lawyer and looks out for security risks. There's something that changes in this person's, like, I don't know, do I say like portfolio or process? And it's like putting up an extra layer or like a shield. Because the success, it does put a little bit of a target on their back where people think, oh, you've been making some money. How can I make some of that money mine, right? Strike to Joe. What do we want? I'm going to go with what's the news and then Wash it. And then we, oops. And then we will start with the personal questions. What else do we have? Black sheep. Rebelling, going against expectations, defying norms. I feel like this musician is someone who has taken a very different path than others in their life or others in their family. And maybe some people didn't really take you seriously or think that you could take this gift or this skill and do very well with it, but you are. We have this happiness, joy, and healing. Things really seem to be falling into place for you. But the problem is there's a lot of people who only see you as the person that you used to be, and that could have enabled somebody to feel justified in trying to take something that was yours. Hello, Marcus. How are you doing? Oh, I'm so glad it's going to help you out. I'm very happy to hear that. And you'll have much more fun spending that 10K a different way, right? All right, so we have the ghost card and cuffing season. Remember we had that single card? This was somebody who was like, yeah, no, I can manage this on my own, or I don't need somebody that is telling me how to spend my money or telling me how to manage these assets, right? That might be coming to a close where someone realizes, hey, I can't really trust this to go as well as planned, or I can't really trust this family member that I had hired to do this thing. I think I need somebody who really knows what they're doing. So I'm not really seeing cuffing season as somebody getting into a relationship. There's not really a lot of romantic-ish here. We're literally looking at somebody who stole from family member or a boss of theirs. But this is someone who's realizing, okay, so now that I have been, betrayed by someone I thought I could trust, I think I really need to make sure that I have additional protections in place for my money or my creative, intellectual property, whatever it might be. So I have receipts now, or there's proof that you can't really be trusted in certain people, especially if there's large quantities of money here, right? So this is someone who's taking this lesson very seriously and saying, okay, especially if I'm going to continue to get more successful and there is more temptation for people, I really need to make sure that I have the experts or the trustworthy individuals around me that can make sure that these things are protected or that I can continue to do what it is that I do. So this is a beneficial situation, even though it is a bit of a betrayal, because there's a lesson learned. There seems to be some consequences here for the person who stole or, was not trustworthy. And someone realizes, okay, going forward, I really need to make this change so that I don't run into that same problem again. Hello, Wakewan, how you doing? Hello, Trilobite, what's up? I would take you to Burger King. Dang. Oh, Upgrade, are you scared? Are you shaking in your booties? Yeah. Hello, Lee. How are you doing? I sure can, and thank you for the tip. And, I'm not getting paid for this. What was your name? So generous, Trilobite. I heard in my head, I heard it as try a little bite because we're talking about Burger King. One of my favorite things is the original chicken sandwich. You gotta add cheese though. I need some cheese. Not really, a date vibe though. I'm just saying. All right, we're gonna start with our personal questions. We've got Stephanie, Leland's mom, and Lee. And if we did hear from Zach, if he wants me to pull a few cards, I'm happy to as well. Hello, Jet Builder. How are you doing? Oh, I hope your day is a beautiful, abundant day as well, Wakewan. All right, so for Stephanie, what are FN's true feelings and intention towards Stephanie? 9 of Pentacles in the reverse. 3 of Swords in the reverse. 9 of Wands. Page of Cups in the reverse and the Four of Pentacles in the reverse. Goodness, goodness. Oh, thank you, Marcus. I appreciate you. Oh, you're so sweet. Oh, I'm so glad you get to spend it on the baby. That's amazing. Oh, that's very kind of you. Let me know if you want me to pull any cards for you. Okay, so Stephanie, I feel like there's some issue here with some stubborn, defensive energy, not wanting to apologize, for example, and being a little bit like, that's how the cookie crumbles, or that's just like how it goes sometimes. So is this somebody who like wants things to be better but doesn't want to do anything about it? Man. So I'm not really pleased with how things are going, but there might be something that feels like a benefit. So maybe I should kind of leave it unfinished or not like totally walk away. With the Three of Swords in the reverse, it's like I've put 2 swords in your heart, but not quite the third. And I'm just like sitting here. So I don't really like this approach. It seems very negative to me. I don't know if he just had like a rough day, but this is like, I'm not going to apologize. Maybe you want to apologize first. Maybe you want to get the conversation started. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to sit right here. I'm going to be the stubborn person. Okay. So negative intentions then? This person needs some time. You know, when I used to babysit, you know, kids in the neighborhood, very effective birth control, by the way, I learned pretty quickly that sometimes people don't bounce right back after a difficult altercation or an argument or being told it's not going to go their way, especially if they're a little bit immature, right? You know, you can't really expect a ton of maturity from like 7-year-olds. But this is somebody who's sitting here and looking at the situation with like angry goggles on. They're like, yeah, everything you do is so rude. I don't know why, but this is like, I'm going to sit here. I know there's unfinished business. I know that, you know, you probably want me to reach out, but I'm not going to. Why the 10 of Cups? This person is like a little two-faced. So they're over here super negative, not wanting to move a finger or like apologize or like start this conversation or like get things back on track. But then we have the 10 of Cups and the Ace of Cups. Like, yeah, no, I like love you and stuff, but I'm not going to do anything. Is this like, this is that non-committal love. I feel like this is toxic. Intentions are toxic. True feelings? It depends on when you ask this person, but I would say their true feelings are that they wish things could improve, but their ego is holding them back. That's why they have a need to go through some healing. And that's why they're looking at this as like, but I don't wanna. I think they have the possibility to change that, but they have to update their like rules and operating procedures for themselves, because I don't think that they're approaching it with maturity in mind. All right, good luck with that, Stephanie. Remember that you deserve to deal with somebody who is willing to face those emotions and those difficult conversations with you, even though they might be difficult, right? Did we ever hear back from Zach? I don't think so. Hello, Sergey. How are you doing? Hello, Yakima. Hello, Kashara. How's it going, Universal? That's awesome. All right, so we've got Leland's mom. Has Isaac been truthful to me today? Has Isaac been truthful to Leland's mom today? No. No. King of Cups in the reverse, Moon in the reverse, Ace of Wands, Tower, and the Queen of Wands in the reverse. Is the Queen of Wands in the reverse Isaac? Yes. Why the Two of Cups? So this feels to me like Isaac had plans, something changed, and they were like threatened or felt like things were not going to go like his way. With the Queen of Wands in the reverse, this is somebody who I feel is acting or reacting rather kind of angrily to a decision or a change and feeling like, well, okay, then I'm going to break my side of the bargain, or I'm not going to make good on a promise that I made you. So 7 of Wands in the reverse, 2 of Wands in the reverse. This is like, I see somebody like it's, you know, crumpling up a piece of paper and tossing it into the wastebasket or tossing it into a fire. It's like, not gonna do that anymore. 5 of Swords. But not being honest with you about it. And the 5 of Pentacles in the reverse. The number 5 is important. And this could have to do with like friendship or money. But I do feel like this is intentionally dishonest. Hello, Nicole. How are you doing? Hello, Aaron. I do. Hello, Caleb. Hello, Sunflowers. How we doing? All right. Leland's mom, I hope that that is helpful for you and that you see some more honesty from Isaac. They do. All right, so we have Lee up next. What do we have for Lee today, please? What do we have for Lee today, please? Four of Swords, 2 of Cups in the reverse, Strength in the reverse, 7 of Pentacles in the reverse. There's someone in your social situation who is trying to repair a broken relationship. This could be romantic or this could be, you know, like a friendship. But with the Strength card in the reverse and 7 of Pentacles, it looks like this is somebody who is like, hey, can you forgive me? Or hey, can we like fix this? Can we like stop being mad at each other? But they haven't actually dealt with the problem. This is like, hey, can we just forget this happened? Instead of, hey, like I fixed that. Can we not be mad now? Like, so basically you just want me to forget what happened. 9 of Pentacles in the reverse. This could be about like, hey, can I just like not pay you back? Or can I get an extension on that? Or, you know, sorry, I can't actually give you a ride. We have this like pushing back issue. So is this going to impact Lee's schedule? Yes. So you're going to get communication, and I feel like the advice here is don't let this person ruin your day, but this is somebody who's not handling things in a very good way or like the right way. Hello, Linus. How are you doing? Thank you for the tip. Will my ex return? And did we get... Hello, Josh. How are you doing? Oh, I hope that goes well. I'm trying to see if we got a response from Marcus real quick. I don't see. Marcus, if that was just a tip, I appreciate you so much. And let's do the question here for Lioness. Lee, of course, I'm sending you some protective energy. So for Lioness, will my ex return? That's awesome. Yeah, Malistrande, I tend to do with priority to those who tip or donate. You can also donate memberships. But I do like to do free questions as much as like time allows. Sometimes I'm hungry towards the end of the reading, or sometimes it's just a matter of time management. Is this person going to return to you, Lioness? I do feel like this person is going to see you again or return to you. Is this going to be like because they plan to? Yeah, I feel like this is accidental. That's interesting. So this could be as simple as, you know, I tried to call one person and I accidentally hit your name in the contact list. I guess it's possible. Things happen, right? This could be, you know, going to a popular restaurant and seeing that you're, you know, across the way. But I feel like there is some happenstance or some randomness here that brings the two of you face to face, or you're able to talk. And I don't really feel like either of you look at this as a bad thing. Six of Petals or Six of Pentacles in the reverse, and the Six of Wands. I do like that we have two sixes here. Eight of Wicks or Eight of Wands in the reverse, and the Nine of Petals. And we both, on this side we have 8-9, and this side we have 8-9. So I don't know if someone was born in 89 or if there's a birthday in August or anything. But I do feel like this is saying that there's progression forward. There's a loss that then turns to a sense of victory. No contact that turns to following one's intuition and making a different choice. The important thing here is to make sure that whatever you need to do to work on yourself or be ready for a relationship or ready for this person to come back, do everything you can. Like, if this were telling you to make sure you clean your house, like clean it like, you know, I don't know, one of those like fancy home magazines is going to come over and take a picture and everybody's going to see how you live. Take it seriously, and I think you get what you want out of this situation. This person looks at you as the Queen of Cups, so they're 11. They're in love. They want the love. Let's see. Thank you, Lee. Let me add that for you. What did X think of settlement? Yes, Trini asked. Let me get a different tarot deck real quick. So what did the X think about the settlement proposal? What did the X think about the settlement proposal? King of Wands in the reverse, Two of Pentacles in the reverse. Anger, frustration, irritation, instability, not what I wanted. Betrayal. Ten of Swords. The thing with this Ten of Swords, though, is I always look at this as somebody wants to blame other people for their current situation. But do you see how those swords look different? There's different coloring on them. This is like, I want to paint everything with the same brush and say that that person or that group or like everybody else is to blame for what's going on in my life or how things are not going, you know, the way they could. I think those four swords that are differently colored, that's like, we need to be honest about the fact that this is somebody who has not done what they needed to do in order to get the outcome that they wanted. So they can be as angry as they want to be. But, you know, I feel like he's kind of made his bed and now he has to lie in it. And then we have the Four of Swords to prove it. He still feels like he's going to be able to get what he wants. He feels like he can connive and manipulate. Spirit's like, he ain't as smart as he thinks he is. He's not gonna be the smartest person in the room. So let him plan. Let him come up with some sort of devious action or ridiculous thing to say. I don't think he's realizing how much things have changed. So, yeah. Hopefully he adjusts at some point. Hello, Senpai. How are you doing? All right, y'all, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for subscribing. And if you are able to hype the video, I appreciate that as well. Hello, Matt. How are you doing? Sorry for taking off. And I will see you in the next reading.